Thanks for logging into myfoxhurricane.com. I am meteorologist Dave Osterberg on this Friday afternoon, and well, yeah, very active, we know that. But let's narrow this down because there's only one area of concern. These two kind of sitting out in the middle of the Atlantic, even if they were to develop, they're moving northward, no big deal. Franklin's struggling right now, really is. It is forecast to become a hurricane and then drift its way to the north, just to the west of the island nation of Bermuda. But this area here in the Western Caribbean is the one that we're all watching here in the southeast, especially Florida, for the potential some very heavy rain next week. That's right, next week. We're not looking at something developing in the next 24 to 36 or even 48 hours. But in the long term, notice the 70% chance for development. So over the weekend, couple of things. There's an upper level low. You can see the spin. That will retrograde. It will push back into Mexico. This is one of the reasons we're not getting a lot of convection right now. However, once this moves out of the way, get an upper level high over the Western Caribbean, I would expect to start to see showers and storms develop this weekend. That's it. Not really do much, just develop and just kind of congregate, if you will, in this whole Yucatan area until at least Sunday. Now, if you look at the surface and you say, wow, the water temperatures are as high as they're ever going to be, that is obviously a huge concern when you're dealing with a tropical system developing in the Western Caribbean. Not to mention what we call the tropical cyclone heat potential. These waters are incredibly warm, down to hundreds of feet in some places. It's a lot of fuel for strengthening. But with all of that said, there is one factor working in our favor and against the storm's favor, and that is this. This is wind shear, so west to southwest winds aloft. And this is going to hang around all the way through at least the beginning of next week. So if this storm, as it moves up toward the north, it'll likely start to get sheared. So the tops of these storms will push off toward the east, make it a little bit more elongated. Without this wind shear, you'd be really nervous because we could have a big storm sitting in the Gulf of Mexico. And most of the computer models right now, and keep in mind it's Friday in the afternoon, most of the computer models are keeping this or bringing this up to tropical storm status and kind of keeping it there as that wind shear keeps it from becoming too strong. But nonetheless, this is going to be a huge rainmaker, probably for the west coast of Florida and in a place that desperately needs rain. This is the European model, and you can see how very close this tropical storm will come by Wednesday morning, just bringing with it copious amounts of rainfall. Here's another model. This is the Fox model. This one pretty much does the same thing. It takes its sweet old time developing. Again, here's Sunday at 1. It's still not developed yet. And then drifting north and east, it'll get picked up by those upper level winds and just kind of shearing it all apart. But this is a good thing because we will get rain out of it, and rain is what we need. We don't want the wind, but the rain we desperately need, being down 13, 14 inches of rain in parts of the west coast of Florida. So the rainfall forecast for the next 7 days, you'll show west of I-75, lots of rain, and it's going to be Tuesday night, and Wednesday. However, we're going to have to fine-tune that wind forecast. There's lots of little things that will play into this as it develops over the next several days. Bottom line is this: the weekend looks fine, no worries at all. Keep checking back with us, though, as the potential for a tropical storm moving into Florida exists Tuesday into Wednesday. Thanks for logging on, and have a great weekend.